I think I've been cursed by Brakeman's ghost. I work at Waterfront Station in Vancouver, BC. For those of you who don't know, Waterfront is a historic railway station and also is connected to a ferry dock. I was working late one night when I felt a presence nearby. I felt the fear in my body begin to rise as I made my way through the station. I eventually went outside onto the main rail platform when I saw on the tracks there was a staggering figure. In its hand was a swaying lantern. I think it was an oil lamp or so, I'm not entirely sure. Regardless, the figure slowly made his way closer to the platform. I called out to them, "Get off the tracks." But they remained silent and continued moving closer. In response, I began to walk to them as well, once more shouting, "Get the hell off the train tracks." To no response again. I stretched my arm out to shine my flashlight at the guy when I felt a drop of rain on my wrist, followed by another, and in a matter of seconds it was pouring rain. I sighed in annoyance as it made it more difficult to identify the trespasser, but they quickly made it into a clear view. When I was sure they were in earshot, I shouted at them again, assuming they had a hearing problem. This time I did get a reaction. They stopped and it seemed they looked at me. I drew closer until I was met with a sight that I'll never forget. The figure before me had no head, just a pair of dimly glowing orbs that seemed to represent his eyes. I dropped my flashlight in horror as I just looked at them. By now it was evident that he was a male, and clearly he didn't like my yelling at him. I read the inscription on his hat, which floated above his lack of a head, which read Canadian Pacific Railway. Now it all made sense: his lantern, his walking along the line, and his old-fashioned attire. Before I could say anything to the specter, he vanished. Mortified, I tried to continue working without thinking about the encounter, but of course I failed at that. When I got home, I tried to make a more in-depth analysis of what I had seen. A man in an old railway uniform without a head. Then it hit me. I remembered when I was with another employee as the station was being closed for the night. We were talking about how old the station was, and he told me about some alleged ghosts. At the time I dismissed them as just tall tales to spook me, but one of the ghosts he told me of was that of a brakeman who was decapitated while working in the rain at the station in 1928. I went to my computer and looked up the story, and verified it was true. Hub Clark was the name of the man, and he had indeed died by a train decapitating him back in 1928. I shivered before trying to sleep it off. I haven't encountered Hub since, but I have been experiencing a lot of incidents which have nearly cost me my head. Namely when a car accident occurred and a sharp piece of metal just narrowly missed my neck. Another time when I got mugged by a man with a butcher's knife and was nearly murdered. I'm almost certain it's because of that ghost, and I plan on confronting him the next time I work late.